Do you get annoyed if your parents tell you what they want you to do?
I do, when they call you and harass you.
Yeah, I definitely get annoyed.
I do get annoyed.
Sometimes, like my mom tells me how to do a certain thing or what to wear sometimes.
It depends. I mean, parents should have control on you on certain things. Like they tell you what to do is right and wrong, but some things, you gotta learn for yourself and make your own decisions.
Yes, because I don't want to do what they want me to do. I just want to do what I want to do.
They want me to do stuff that I don't want to do, and I like to do things that I like to do.
Normally the things they tell me to do are fairly reasonable. I don't have a problem with it.
I guess like any normal person I do, but after I understand and respect them for what they say most of the time.
Would you say in general that you honor and you respect your parents?
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I would. I do honor and respect my parents.
I would say that in general, I respect and honor my parents.
Yeah, I definitely respect my parents above everyone.
Everything that I know and everything that they taught me, it's very valuable, and I respect my parents a lot. I listen to what they tell me to do.
They raised me, and I respect everything they do, and I try to model after them.
Sometimes my mom fight because we're the only two ones in the house, and we fight like sisters, but I always honor and respect my parents.
I talk back to them a lot. Most of the time, I listen to them and stuff, but then a lot of the time, I don't really like to listen.
I definitely know that feeling, and I mean, I guess it's weird, but I guess the way I see it now is that I have 3 more weeks with my parental units, and then I'm off to college, so.
Well, good for you, but what are parental units, robots?
Well, no, I mean, my parents are great people, but I mean, sometimes they just make things so much more difficult than they need to be. For example, we're picking out a refrigerator last weekend for college.
Yeah.
And it's, they're both the exact same refrigerator, but one's cheaper. So you go, oh, no, I'll take this one. No, but this one has this. Okay, so we'll get that one. No, but this one's cheaper. So, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
make a decision. But, I mean, they're great people, and, I wouldn't be where I am without them. So.
I see what you're saying. I mean, it's not always clear to me what my parents are thinking either. I'll ask them to go someplace, they'll say no, and I'm like, well, I have all these hours free and I have a ride, why can't I go? Right. But sometimes it's just all right, whatever.
Right. There's always a method to their madness, I guess.
Yeah.
Believe me, it can be easy to think we don't need our parents' help and guidance in our lives.
It can also be easy to forget that God gave them to us. So we have people to protect us, teach us, and care for us, and that He asks us to honor them and listen to them.
Our parents might not be the coolest people in town or up on the latest trends.
But whether we like it or not, they are the ones who have the experience and the responsibility to guide our lives while we are children and teenagers.
Honoring thy parental units. That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi everyone, I'm Elias.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is Real Faith TV. Most of the teens on the street expressed how they honored and respected their parents.
Although at times they could easily get annoyed with their parents when they tell them what to do.
We'll talk with them a little later in the show, as well as meet our studio guests.
But first, let's talk with our spotlight guest, Tom. He'll share with us how he honors his parents.
Let's hear from him now.
Generally, I do respect my parents, even though I have a lot of arguments with them. They get on my nerves a lot, but I do what they tell me most of the time. When I was younger, I think it was easier for me to listen to them. Now, obviously, I'm older, so it's going to be an argument here or there. I do get annoyed when they tell me what to do because I'm a lot like my dad, Mr. Know-It-All, I guess you could say. At times my parents do embarrass me because whether they dress too nice or nicer than I am, or they think this way about something, or when my friends come over they say a certain thing or want to bring out the baby pictures, but that's normal for parents. I'm older, so they're always on my case about what I'm going to be doing, or what I'm going to be doing in the future and how I should do it. We try to settle on it, but not all the time. It's not going to be eye to eye. I always try to help my dad when he's in the yard. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I try to help him out, and same thing with my mom. Whenever she needs help in the kitchen or picking up my siblings from school or whatever, I try to do the best I can.
It really resonates with me what he said about sometimes it's just, you necessarily don't want to go help your dad mow the lawn or cut down the tree that just doesn't want to come down, but you just do it out of respect for them, and in the end, it's a good feeling anyway.
At first you're oh, I'm not going to do this, and then you sit on the couch for 5 seconds, you're all right, I got to go help my mom.
The guilt's eating away at me.
I know. Well, let's see what our studio guests have to say about this topic.
All right, sounds good. They are Dan, Nick, Chris, Kayla, Christina, Laura, and Mary.
So how do you guys honor and respect your parents?
I kind of have a hard time respecting them because when you're younger, you look up to your parents. They tower over you and they kind of invoke fear in you. But now I'm taller than my mom and I'm almost as tall as my dad. So they'll tell me to do something, and that whole you're taller than me, I should go do what you say, it doesn't really resonate in me anymore. So I try to do what they say, but it doesn't always work out.
Yeah, that's how I feel. When you're little, they're like, don't make me count to 3, and then they get to 1, and you're like, okay. And you run upstairs and brush your teeth. But now that I'm 16, I'm like, when they count to 3, nothing's really gonna happen. And we're teenagers, I'm gonna do what I want. You can count to 3. So I feel the older we get, it's harder because we're on their eye level, like you said, we're as tall as them and stuff. That's what I struggle with.
Now that I'm older, I recognize that it's a duty for me in my house to help out and help my mom do the dishes or whatever, because I can't really leave it up to her. When I was a little kid, I didn't have the responsibility to take care of that, but now that I'm older, I'm more responsible and realize I'm gonna help her out.
I'm the oldest child, so I always have to be on top of stuff and help my mom in the house. And it's really hard to respect her because she's always looking for me to do what my siblings don't do. So she might yell at me before she yells at my little sister, per se. So it really is hard, but in the end, I have to respect her because she's my mother. So
it's hard for me as well because I like to take shortcuts in doing it. My parents will be like, Chris, go take out the trash. I'll be like, all right. They'll leave the room. Hey, to my little sister, go take out the trash. And it could be big things for studying. I'll be like, study. And I'll take out my book and put another book on top of it that I want to read. And it could be as little as, go brush your hair. I'll brush my hair and then the next day I'll just go get my hair cut really short so I don't have to.
I know for the past 18 years, I've been kind of trying to live up to my parents' expectations as the model child. And I feel that's kind of my way of honoring and respecting them, as being what they want me to be and helping them out whenever they need things and just basically doing whatever they want to do. But now, as I'm getting older and I want to be more independent and kind of be on my own, it's getting harder to do that because they're still trying to cling to me, and I'm trying to distance myself a little bit, and I'm still helping them out and making sacrifices for them and honoring and respecting them. But at the same time, I'm trying to be more myself and do what I want to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I try to do as my parents tell me to do, but it's kind of difficult at times because they have these really strange rules I don't believe other people have to deal with. And they get these ideas from the TV or if they read an article online, and I'm just like, oh, okay, Mom, I'll do what you say. And then normally she forgets about the rule or just doesn't make me follow it the next month, so I just deal with it to avoid fighting.
I respect and honor my mom because she cooks for me, and I really, really, really love food. And I know at times she doesn't feel like, getting up and to cook. And she actually makes my plate first. I just feel so special because I know my mom loves me.
Well, in Exodus chapter 20, the 4th commandment says,
honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land which the Lord your God gives you.
It's a direction and a promise.
In the Catechism of the Catholic Church, we see that this commandment requires us to show honor, affection, and gratitude for our parents.
When God created people, he looked at them in the Garden of Eden and said they were good.
He created every individual in his image and likeness with dignity and worth.
So it only makes sense that God says we need to show respect to the people he puts in our lives.
Especially those who have been there since the beginning, our parents.